What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Twins Podcast. My co-host, Lex McMahon, where we are random as hell, but there's a point to it. It's just your job to find out. It's their job to find out.
What's the point, Shorty?
Their job to find out. I mean, I really don't know.
Good luck, guys. Let's see what you got.
It's like this every single day. But if you notice, this is a change of scenery, but it's still another lovely room of death.
Well, I like to keep my rednecks close, and my dead animals closer.
And I could
so we're here in Alabama, right, at the Old Town Creek Farm at our friend Kirby Cadell's farm. And no shit, there's about 30 deer and dead turkey in here, right? And they're all looking at you like, why did you let this happen to me, Shorty?
Like, I'm having the Ace Ventura moment, like, oh my God, I just want to scream. Like,
they're all talking, all their mouths are moving.
Dude, it's so crazy. Like, again, I'm a city slicker, if you want to say that. So this is too much for me. But, I'm afraid I'm going to be on the wall eventually like that Bobcat. But it's a nice mix. But hey, let's start it off with the Furious 5.
Furious 5. This is my favorite part of the show, Shorty, because it allows us to kind of relax a bit, open up, tell some funny stories, and probably some incriminating ones as well.
Oh, damn, you got the questions out, so I have to answer first.
That's right. Furious 5. Shorty, funniest moment you've had in bed.
Oh.
And this does mean with another person, Shorty.
Oh, yeah, actually, I've had a lot of funny moments by myself.
Yeah, this is a qualifier.
Probably more funnier moments by myself. But I think one of the funnier moments was my second time having sex. Literally got with a girl that was, like, I literally created the rule set. You are my practice partner. I want to get good. My first time was obviously bad.
This is the conversation. This is your pickup line. Listen, you're my practice partner because I want to be good in bed with other people.
Yeah, that's how
I really don't care what I do for you.
That's how competitive I am. And
how'd that go for you?
I found out I didn't like Bush, so that was kind of funny.
So we're talking clean now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think the funniest moment was literally, I didn't know the differences of like women down there and all that stuff of like the pain tolerance or whatever. I literally stuck it in just a little bit. She's like, ow. I'm like, I really don't even want to do this right now, because I wasn't super attracted to her. It was literally just practice. Like, I was committed to just practice. And
you weren't that committed if you were like, I don't want to do this.
I was already just getting super aggravated. And then stuck it in the second time. Seems like such an asshole right now. Then I stuck it in the second time. She said, ow, again. I literally stood up with my condom still on, put my pants on, and I left. Yeah. And then the karma hit. And later on, I went to take a shower. And I look, and my penis head looked like I just scraped my penis head all over the floor, like if I scraped my knee. Then I go to the doctor the next day. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm freaking the fuck out.
You wore a condom, and you still got, like, herpes simplex 19.
Dude, I was freaking the fuck out. And then the doctor's like, oh, tell me the story. I was like, yeah, we dry humped, dude. She had the biggest bush, yada, yada, yada. Then we tried to have sex.
You got, like, abrasion burns.
Basically, long story short, the doctor starts laughing at me. She goes, you got rug burn. I'm like,
that's good, Shorty. That's good.
Stop that.
All right. So my funniest moment in bed goes back to the glory days of UC Santa Barbara. Go Gauchos. My girlfriend at the time was amazing. Like, rock star, beautiful, destined to be a doctor, which she definitely has become. Just an amazing girl, super cool. And we're hanging out, and she loves sex, like just loves sex. And so, but we, it was college, we were partying. So we had a great night and got her back up to the room, and she's in that cowgirl position, and I'm like, right on, this is awesome. Next thing you know, I've got vomit all over me. And I was like, dude, really, Corey? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Look at his look. Look at his face.
Fucking up. So for people who don't know, I actually want to keep this in. For people who don't know, we have like 30 people staying here, and it's like everyone. We have a live studio audience. Really, they're all back here trying to be as quiet as possible. And the first rule when you have a live studio audience,
turn your phone off.
Turn your phone off.
You can't yell at the chef, man. You can't yell at the chef. He's awesome.
He cooked Wagyu. Oh.
It was so good.
Oh,
good. So anyway, my most embarrassing moment was when my amazing, thoughtful, beautiful, incredible girlfriend just puked all over me.
Huh.
Yeah, that's mine. So let's go back to question, Shorty. Furious 5.
Number two.
Number 2, question 2. Favorite cartoon show? You obviously created these.
Yeah.
Favorite cartoon show growing up?
And you like how I balanced that? Like super dark and then like kiddish?
What's dark about how, like a funny moment in bed?
Super embarrassing sexually and then kiddish.
All right. What do you got?
My favorite cartoon show was Looney Tunes. Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, stuff like that was just always fun.
This is going to be one of those rare moments where I actually agree with you.
Yeah, dude, yeah. Looney Tunes. And Looney Tunes was created when? Like 40s, 50s? You know,
back
so
in the day,
being a 90s baby and still resonating now is just amazing. So for me, Looney Tunes is just my show to be random, fun, and play and just do whatever. What about you, Lex?
No, same one.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're totally in agreement, man.
Twins.
I'm with you, bro. Good job, Shorty. Most embarrassed you've ever been, Shorty? What do you got?
So, thought about this while writing it down. It might not seem like a big deal to everyone else, but I always wanted to be an actor growing up. You know, just that funny guy on camera doing this, doing that.
Everybody loves a midget actor, Shorty.
Yeah, I mean, look at Kevin Hart. I could be just like that. Danny DeVito, probably more similar to me.
Yeah.
But kind of fits the whole theme here. But, man, I remember doing my very first monologue for a talent agency, trying to, make it big. And
hey, come check out my casting couch, Shorty. You got a shot.
They're like, come on
you
in.
could make it big in this business.
I thought I would do so much better. But I had all the skill. But, yeah, man, I went in there and I thought way too much about it. Literally, during my monologue, I started to cry.
Huh.
And the ladies were like...
This is a comedy scene, Mr. Torres.
They're like, why are you crying? It's okay. I was like, I'm freaking the fuck out. Like, I just wanted to make it big, and I was thinking that was, like, my moment.
That was your way out of the hood, was being an actor.
Yeah, and that's all I wanted to do. And, well, I'm here with you, so I guess this is kind of...
You really didn't go that far.
Yeah.
All right. Most embarrassed you've ever been. You know, I made a choice that when we decided to do this podcast, I wasn't going to, like, sugarcoat anything. Yeah. I wasn't going to, like, hide things. So this definitely qualifies as that. Most embarrassing was when Stefan Struve and I were driving in my truck, and we had just had lunch. And
I've heard this story.
And I picked him up. I picked him up from training. And then we went and grabbed quick lunch, and it was like something didn't sit well with either of us. Mm-hmm. And as we're driving, Stefan farts, and it's like this loud, juicy, obnoxious fart. And I'm like, oh my God, you just shit yourself. And we're laughing, and he's like, no, dude, I'm okay. About 5 minutes go by, and my stomach starts rumbling, and then I start sweating profusely. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. I'm going to have a problem. So I'm like looking for a place to pull over to the bathroom. I see a gas station. I pull up, and like when you're like on the home stretch, you think you're good. So your body starts to prepare itself.
It starts to let it out little by little.
I get that there's no fucking bathroom in this.
He's prairie
oh my God. So I get back in, and I'm now almost crying. It's so bad. And I'm like everything's clenched, and and Stefan's looking at me like laughing and mocking me. And I'm like, dude, fuck you, Struve. Leave me alone. We see a Burger King, and I like pull into the Burger King, but instead of pulling into the parking spot, I pull across like 6 parking spots. Oh. I open the door, and I'm like, oh God! And Stefan takes his phone out and starts recording, and I'm like, oh. And I start shitting myself, and it's just a complete relief. And once it starts, man, you're like, oh, this feels so good. And I was just like, oh my God. And I'm making the worst noises. And then I realized I've shit myself like rather spectacularly, and Stefan's captured it all on film. And I finally I get up and I get out of the car, and I waddle in. I'm like, Stefan, give me some clothes. So he gives me his sweaty workout clothes from when he had just got done training. I have to walk into, and I'm waddling in, and it's like halfway through, I feel like poo going down my leg, and I'm wearing flip-flops and jeans. I shake my leg, and poo goes flying out, and you hear Stefan go, oh my God, that's disgusting.
Oh.
I waddle in to Burger King and make eye contact with no one, but there's 40 people in Burger King, and they're all looking at me. I can feel their eyes on me. I go into the bathroom, I pull my clothes off, and I'm so distraught by what happened. I throw all my clothes and just leave them in the corner. Then I get into the sink and I like douche my ass in the sink.
Yeah. Making your own little bidet.
I did. Put Stefan's stinky ass clothes on, sweaty clothes. Open the door to walk out, and there's this very large woman who is not pleased with me, and she's got a bucket and a mop, and she's just shaking her head. And I just like keep walking, open the door. As I open the door and I start walking back towards my truck, the woman from the drive-thru leans out and she's like, Sir, did you really do that to our bathroom? Oh. I was just like, oh my God.
Should have left it.
I get to my truck, Stefan's not there. He had gone across the street to get like baby wipes and spray to make.
Oh, that was nice.
Because I shit like literally, it went up my back.
Oh.
Into it, I carried my my pistol on my back. Poop went up the barrel of my pistol.
Oh, does it still work?
Well, it's been cleaned vigorously since.
Shooting shit bullets at people.
So anyway, Stefan captured the whole thing on video, and he will like send me little gifs of parts of it just to fucking torture me, dude. So not only was it embarrassing at the time, but you know, I've come to grips with it because it turns out everybody's got a shit story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've all got shit stories, but he keeps sending me this shit, dude. Like, and it's just like the gift that keeps giving.
The moment that just keeps haunting you.
Yeah. So it's not only was I embarrassed then, I continue to be embarrassed by my loss of bowel control.
Shout out to Stefan Struve.
Yeah. Thanks, Struvey. All right, number 2. Oh, I just farted too. Woo, that's horrible.
Oh man, it's gonna go over there.
Yeah. What's been your bright side of 2020 and the COVID disaster? Or just 2020, which has kind of sucked in general.
Yeah, no, 2020's been shit. For me, I think it was actually finally getting a fight.
Wait, you fought?
I fought. The crazy
You haven't fought in like a year and a half.
Out of all circumstances, I got a draw too. Like
that's 2020.
It's 2020. You know, it's like you got to fight, but you're gonna get a draw. It's like, oh, great.
Yeah, but you also got hooked up, dude. Shaky likes you a lot. It's nice.
I love him.
It's nice when Shay Khalid like has taken you under his wing and recognizes how talented you are and what a good person you are, and you know, kind of has become your benefactor.
Oh man, if it wasn't for him,
or maybe your sugar daddy,
like
and you have to do some services that you don't want to discuss.
I love the guy to death, you know.
$20 is $20.
$20.
I mean, he's a shake and probably doesn't need it, but you know,
just give it. But you know, about service, I was like, I'll still do it anyway.
Just out of like principle, right?
Yeah, it's just out of respect. You know, in the hood, you got to do work. So I was like, you know what, I could do it. But man, he's helped a lot, especially when my father passed. Like he took care of everything. You know, it's a crazy thing.
No, he's a good man. He's been by your side, and I respect that about him tremendously.
For me, and he doesn't have to do it, which is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, I think just fighting in general, you know, I've been going through a lot of stress in my life and finally getting the fight.
Stress? You've been sleeping on my couch and eating donuts, you fat fuck.
Dude, that's stress for me. You know, so I need to be
No, stress
active.
is when my wife kicked you out of your bedroom and you came back and you're like, where did my little room go?
And she's in an office that she doesn't use. Come on, man. You know, I was just like, the girls still use it. I was like, all right, cool. So I'm on, I don't even know what couch I'm on, really. I like Rami.
You bounce around, you cuddle with Rami. Sometimes you hotbox and sleep in bed with me. You know.
That's also true. That's happened before.
That's the way we roll, man.
You know, so for me, it's fighting, getting the draw, and honestly, it was like a lot of I have fight anxiety because I haven't fought in so long. It was more mental injury than physical injury. So by the time I fought, I was so timid, I was so scared, I was just so tense that by the time the fight was over, I was like, wow, that was it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a sense
It's just
of
good
relief.
to get back in there, man.
Yeah. And I'm just so excited to get back to it. Really.
Right on.
What about you?
Bright side of 2020, 100%. It was the decision to fight. And then following through with it, and finally announcing it, and being up here in Alabama doing this amazing camp. It has, there's been a lot of hard things that have gone on, but this has been that crucible that we all need in our lives. We need something in our lives to strip us down. And I've gone through it multiple times. Like I did it in the military where they strip you down and they build you back up. I did it when I went to Somalia and fucking was fighting for my life. That strips you down and builds you. You find out what you're made of, right? And this has been that same sort of experience. Like 49 years old, going against world champions, UFC fighters, just elite people, and having like this brain trust of incredible coaches and fighters around me. That is something that I will never forget, and it has certainly been the bright spot of 2020.
What was that? We got one more? Is there one more?
Yeah, well, if you could fix one problem in the world,
Oh.
Jesus, Shorty, this is that like cheesy,
I'm ready for
like
president, you know?
this is a cheesy like Miss Universe question. If you could fix one problem in the world,
I couldn't
what
think of
would
any
it be?
questions, man. It's so difficult. You put a lot of pressure on me.
Yeah, I'd like world peace.
Actually,
if you
yeah,
say
I was
world
gonna say
peace,
world-
if you say world peace, I'm kicking you
I'm
in the
gonna
dick,
change
bro.
my name to Metal World Peace. No, man. You know, it's for me. And I said the biggest thing is can't we just all get along? Like, especially in the States, there's so many problems, especially with race right now, with politics, with religion, with this and that. It's like, why can't whatever happened to being a genuine human being and trying to treat each other the same?
Yeah.
So for me, it's trying to clear and make a blank slate and just kind of go as normal. It's like we are taught certain ways as children, but children, you see kids hanging out with other kids, no problem, no anything, until the parents get in their heads and do whatever. So for me, it's trying to clear a blank slate and be as peaceful as possible.
All right. Well,
What about you?
I think
you're a little more educated on this.
Well,
so
I
what
think
about
your
you?
Miss Universe question is cheesy as fuck. I'll still answer it. What would I do? I would say I would love for people to be less full of shit, less full of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And if we could get to a place where people were just genuine, where that was the rule as opposed to the exception, I think the world would be better off and would be a better place to reside. Unfortunately, people tend to be, my general rule is people are assholes until they prove me wrong. And when they do, I'm surprised, and that's awesome. And it's a shame that, you're an asshole.
Yeah,
But it's a shame that that's what people, kind of come across as, unfortunately. But it is what it is, Shorty. So take us into now, because that's our Fast and Furious, our Furious 5. Take us into the meat of the podcast. What do we got going on this week? What are we talking about?
Honestly, it's. I want to interview him. I want to interview you. Here's the thing: is why the hell are we here? You've brought it up in the Furious 5. We're doing your fight. You announced that you're gonna fight at 49 years old. Out of all the things in the world that you could have done, because fighters, for example, coming up from Chicago, I've been in a team that we call each other TBT, the broke team. This is our way out.
Right.
So for me, I grew up thinking fighting's a poor man's sport. You need the money. This is your way out of the neighborhood to be successful and possibly help other people while you come up. Why are you fighting at 49 years old? Through everything you've been through in your life, you are a successful person. You own a promotion. You are financially stable, from what I know.
Hey, Shorty, can I borrow $20?
And I just gave you a check, so
okay.
it was a little more than 20.
So the $20, I'm not gonna get the $20.
It's a little more than 20, but I think it's like paid my rent for me at your house and the food.
Certainly your food.
I probably still owe you money, really.
Yeah.
But why are we here? What made you want to fight?
Man, and I've talked about this a little bit, but for years, I've been in the sport 12 years at really kind of the highest level as a manager and as a promoter. I've been a matchmaker. I've done endorsements. Like, I've done crisis communications and media for this sport. Like, I've done everything. Truly, I've done everything except for fight. And I get asked that question a lot in media interviews that I do. And at first, I was like, that was the answer that a 49-year-old guy who is, has an MBA and a law degree and has been a business executive should be giving, right?
Very smart guy, by the way. Just putting that out there if you don't get it.
But as I continued to be asked that question, I realized that for 12 years, I've been asking guys like you. In fact, I did ask you. You went in and fought for Titan a whole bunch of times. And then, now I manage you. So, guys like you, I've asked to go in and fight so that I can profit and take care of my family. And to do that, while not having done it, seemed really disingenuous and inauthentic. And I'm a Marine, and I believe in leadership from the front. Mm-hmm. So if I want to continue in this sport at the level that I am and at a higher level, then I felt like I need to be able to lead from the front and understand what you guys really go through. I have no illusions about, I'm not a fighter, man. Like, I have a fighting spirit. I'm not a fucking fighter. I'm a guy who's going to go and fight one time, and I'm going to fight my ass off that one night. But I'm not you guys. But this is going to help me understand it more. So that was an important part of it. I think another part was as I was doing this and, kind of going through the mental preparation to make this announcement, I realized that I control a large platform, through via my partnership with the UFC and UFC Fight Pass, my relationship with Dana, all the fighters that I've worked with over the past 12 years. I can cast a wide net in terms of messaging. And if I'm going to do something, like, I don't want it to be about me. I want it to be about other people. And so this is an opportunity for me to tell a story about things that are really important to me. As you know, all my philanthropic work is with the military. And I sit on the board of directors of several military veteran nonprofits, one of which is A Hero, Americans Heroes Enjoying Recreation Outdoors. And what I want to do is shed light on the reality of PTSD, something I've struggled with myself. 2 tours in Somalia kind of shook me up a bit, just like it would shake up pretty much everybody who experienced it, right? And we all deal with it in different ways. And yes, I've gone on and continued to evolve and be successful, but I've had my dark times. And I've had times where I really questioned, is it worth being here? And I've had times when I've turned to alcohol and drugs to help numb the pain. So I want to cast a light on that so people understand that it's real. It's not just a catchphrase or 4 letters. It's real, man. And the consequence of that reality is that way too often, veterans take their own life. And the number, goes up and down a bit, but, it's kind of hovers around 22 a day. If you look at that statistic, since 9/11, there's been about 7,000 U.S. service members killed in action. And that's a staggering number. It's a tragic number. But if you look at 22 a day that have taken their own lives when they've come back from the battlefield, that's over 8,000 a year, over 145 roughly thousand since 9/11 have come home and continued to fight the battle but lost. So for me, it's all about creating awareness about PTSD and about veteran suicide and helping to raise funds for the military veteran nonprofits that I work with and I'm affiliated with, because I feel if I support their mission, then I'm helping to save lives. I'm helping to save my brother and sister's lives. And I feel that that's incumbent upon all of us as a human being to help others, right? So what has made the most sense to me is to service those who are still in service. So I'm donating my fight purse, I'm donating all my sponsorship money, and I'm targeting to raise over $50,000 to donate to A Hero so that I can support their mission of stopping veteran suicide. So, when you can cast a wide net and tell a big story and use yourself as the vessel to do it, then why not, man?
That's amazing, man. And that's, again, showing how genuine you are and talking about what you were saying earlier. Why can't people just be more genuine? Yeah. And talking about your PTSD, like, you hold yourself pretty well. But I can tell you from our personal experience, both Rami and I living with you, being afraid to open the door at night because we're afraid you're going to shoot us. I've actually slept in the car.
Naked?
Yeah, he sleeps naked, so he comes out butt naked with the gun. She's like, who is this? Like, ready to shoot. And I'm like, oh, hey, Dad.
Yeah, you did sleep in the car and sweated your ass up one night out of pure terror.
It was like 90 degrees. I didn't want to open the door. Bodie kept on barking. All you hear is, who is it, Bodie? I was like, I'm going to go back in the car. Like,
no, actually, I think I said sick balls, Bodie.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not even
sick balls, Bodie.
I'm not even going to do it. But it's, I work with MVP, Merging Veterans and Players, and I hear of...
Great organization.
We had a guy commit suicide 3 weeks ago, where it breaks everyone down. And it just shows the camaraderie with everything. Again, when my father passed away, everyone showed up trying to be a team. They didn't even know my father, but they're there to mentally and morally support me.
Sure.
So just the military aspect of camaraderie, everything is amazing, and what you're doing is amazing. But when you're in there, especially again, I've seen you in training cry. I've seen you before practice cry, because this is a big moment for you. This is an extremely emotional thing. You're away from your family. You're away from your loved ones. You're away from other work circumstances. Obviously, now you're starting to learn the different aspect of fighters, where we're just exhausted every day, but we still have to do media. We're getting beat up, but we still have to live our everyday lives. What's something that you've learned right now during this training camp? And I know you've been training all year, but now at the Breaking Lex training camp in what is this, Hardaway, Alabama?
Yeah.
what have you learned while being here for the week and a half so far?
You know, I mean, I think I knew this intuitively coming in. The reality of I'm a passionate person, you know. I love big. You know that, man. Like, if I care about you, I care about you. And I give you literally everything I have with no expectation in return. I knew my greatest vulnerability. My greatest vulnerability was going to be my emotion and managing that. Because there's a question that we all get. I think if you do what you guys do, you have to ask yourself why. Everybody fights for something, for some reason. They don't just fight because they're a fucking masochist. I mean, I'm sure there are some. But the reality is everybody's fighting for something. You know, you're fighting for getting out of a bad environment, to change your circumstance, to be a role model for others. You know, you're fighting to give life to somebody who didn't get the life that they deserve to have. You're fighting for so many other reasons than just self. You're also fighting to purify your soul. That's probably the thing that I've learned since I've been here under amazing, incredible circumstance. But also, by design, I brought men around me who I knew would love me enough to push me to the places that I didn't even want to go myself. Because this would be a fucking waste and would be a fraud if I didn't do that. And I would not be ready to fight on November 21st if I didn't go to these tough places. You know, without the specifics, you know, challenging circumstances within my family. But my family's amazing, and I love them, all of them. But that's been part of my reality that's driven me. Feeling the gravity of, I mean, I don't have fear. I don't. And I think that, but I had to answer that question for myself in terms of, would I be afraid getting punched in the face beyond, you know, kind of controlled fucking training? And, you know, I answered that, you know, the way that I expected it to be answered, which is, no, I'm good, man. The toughest moments for me have been the first time I got my hands wrapped. And again, why am I fighting? I wrote the names of my two daughters on each wrap, and 22 with you know, the circle and the line through it, representing, you know, no more veteran suicide. And just like now, man, I fucking cried. Just, it's gotta mean something, bro. It has to mean something. And if it doesn't, it's just bullshit. And that's what again, that's my greatest. I'm tough. I'm tough mentally. I'm tough. Like, I know I'm not gonna quit. I've now answered the question. I'm not gonna break in the fight. Like, I've answered it. I've had fucking Mo Usman raining gorilla bombs down on me.
Dude,
I've had
huge.
Rami Ahmed, who's a world champion fucking kickboxer, Muay Thai guy, throwing head kicks at me. You know, like, I've weathered the storms, man. Like, and not only have I weathered them, you know, I've had Yuli, who's a fucking KO artist, fucking, you know, throwing them at me, and I've been able to answer back, and I've been able to learn how to function. And so I've answered those questions, I think, in a resounding way. I'm good. What I've got to figure out between now and November 21st is how to get ready to step into the cage. Because, man, I'm struggling right now.
Yeah.
Every time, like, that's why we've been doing these walkthroughs, right? Why I got wrapped yesterday by Mr. Thompson, Ray Thompson. I cried with him yesterday.
It's an emotional thing. It's tough.
And that's what people don't know, man. everybody takes it for granted that this is what you guys do is easy. I've always known that it's not, man. You know, like I come into the cage and I hug you, win or lose, man. Mm-hmm. I tell you I love you, and I'm proud of you. But fuck, man, until you do this, and again, like I wanted it to be epic when we did this. If I was gonna do it one time, you know,
oh, dude, it's been so epic.
I wanted this to be the most epic experience for all of us because you guys are my team, man. Like you always have been. Everybody that's here has been the guys that have been in my corner. But I wanted it to be an incredible experience. But that included allowing Justin, our amazing videographer, full access to me breaking down because I knew I would. You know, I know me. Like I knew I would have these. You know, that's I think something that a lot of you and Rami, because you live with me, mm-hmm. you know this side of me. Mo has been with me a lot, so he knows this side of me. But most people don't. They see the persona that I try to put forward, which is a tough leader who's caring and everything. But I fucking don't break, man. Why do you think I named this fucking camp Breaking Legs? I knew I had to go through this process to come out on the other side, to be like this. Everybody has to have a crucible, right? That strips you down to your barest, most base, fundamental self. And then you get built back up by people that care about you, that love you. Mo was literally kicking my ass last night, and was in the same breath giving me advice and encouragement as he was literally kicking my ass. Yuli comes up to me at the end of tough sparring rounds and gives me a kiss. No homo, kiss on the forehead or cheek, no homo. But if that offends you, go fuck yourself. But
sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
So they weren't doing a Khabib where like they're on top of you, like I must break you. I deserve belts.
No, man. I mean, this is what I'm saying. It's like, like guys who've taken time away from themselves, like Charles Rosa and Wonder Boy and Charles Mc. I mean, all these people that have just given of themselves to make me come out better on the other end of this. And that's kind of, for me, been one of the biggest enlightening experiences, which I knew it would be, but I also knew I had to go through it to get there. And listen, we've still got weeks of training ahead of us. I think by design, this camp was the toughest part because it was in complete isolation, and I designed it that way so that I could come through this and then be better equipped from a tool set perspective, from a mental perspective, and from a cardiovascular perspective, to finish out camp and get ready to go fight.
This whole thing is exhausting, and training in general obviously is hard. You've been, what were we like rubbing ice packets of, like Gator on you?
Yeah, frozen Gator. That's in addition to being a videographer, Justin, after every practice, comes in and rubs frozen alligator on my arms.
Justin, you're loyal.
He's very loyal.
He's been doing everything. Trips to the airport, all that stuff. He's been doing everything. Where's the intern? Training to me it's hard, but it's the easy part. We're rubbing, packets of gator meat on you. We're doing all these things.
By the way, only in Alabama would you get like frozen gator meat rubbed all over your body.
Makes you think of Waterboy when they're eating gators in the back, like little baby gators.
My name's Bobby Boucher.
Takes a bite of it, no problem. Obviously we're talking about the mental health, which you've seen me in fight camp in panic mode, having panic attacks, doing a weight cut, which I'm kind of upset you're a heavyweight and that you can't do weight cuts.
Thank God I don't have to do the weight cut,
dude. By the way...
Because that would suck on top of all this other shit.
Which, by the way, as you can tell, obviously I'm fat and happy. I was home for 10 days enjoying myself, and I'm like, yeah, Mom, I'm going to be on a diet going tomorrow. I'm going to be at the
Always Lex tomorrow.
And then, always tomorrow. And then next Monday, even though it's Monday right now.
Right.
And then I get to here, and there's like 3 cakes right when I walk in. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's a fat boy camp.
Lex strikes again.
Oh, man, damn. And then you buy me a box of Reese's Puffs, and I ate it in 20 minutes. But, anyways... Yeah, we had Reese's Puffs, man. It's crazy. Yeah, I
the voice of Charles Rosa just out of nowhere. Reese's Puffs?
We have a live studio audience here, and they get to ask questions, too.
Yeah, you missed out, Charles.
But I guess to kind of keep on the theme to leading up to the fight, again, training is hard, but you're pushing through. you're having that anxiety or that mental struggle of like the walkout. What's your? I guess you want to be realistic. What's your biggest fear for fight day? You know, because that's what everyone really thinks about. That's the anxiety of fighters. You know, it's like, what if my opponent does this? What if my opponent does that? What if circumstances don't work out to the way I want or whatever?
I mean, I genuinely, I had to have a really kind of honest, like I've told all of you guys this, that the toughest thing for any human being to do is to be honest with himself, right? And I believe that wholeheartedly. So I had to take stock of myself and say, okay, man, like, you talk all this shit. Mm-hmm. Now it's time to figure it out. Like,
which is a lot of shit.
Oh yeah, a lot of shit. Especially going back to that last.
Yeah, a lot of shit. Up your back.
Up the gun, the whole thing. But so I've had to take stock of myself and say, okay, where are my strengths? Where are my weaknesses? And are my strengths going to be enough to compensate for my weaknesses come fight night? And I think what is just, am I going to be prepared enough? I'm 49 fucking years old. Yeah, man, I've been in fucking street fights, bar fights. When I was in high school, I got in a fight with some dude who whipped a chain across my back, and I had chain like marks all the way down my back. Then I whooped that dude's ass, right? You know, I whooped my mom's old boyfriend's ass. Like I've been a fighter in the sense of being in street fights, and when I was in the Marines, obviously, you know, 2 tours in Somalia. Like, I've fought, man. But this is such a, again, until you do this shit, you've got no idea, especially MMA, because which is the most real version of fighting, I believe, because it's holistic. You have no idea what you don't know until you don't know it. When you realize you've got some monster on top of you fucking raining down big gorilla bombs, or you've got a world-class striker just pinpointing you with precision and picking you apart, and you're like, wow.
And there are some points where people literally train one thing their entire life, but when they get into that life or death situation, they literally lose all skill and panic. Yeah.
So my greatest concern is that I won't be prepared enough. You know, I have no illusions about who I am and what I am. Again, like I said, I'm not a fighter, man. I'm a business guy. I've got the warrior spirit for sure, and I am going to be a fighter that night. But it's not like, you know, if I have a win or a loss, it's not like I'm going to say I'm a pro fighter, man. I'm not.
No.
I'm doing this for a reason, or several reasons, and that's going to be enough.
Does the outcome really matter?
No, not at all. Sure, would I love to win? Yeah, 100%. But for me, the win is going through this crucible, this journey of self-discovery, and taking this opportunity to spread awareness about issues that are so vitally important in PTSD and veteran suicide. So I've already won, man. When I get to the cage, all I want to do is make my coaches and my training partners and my family proud. And I think I achieved that irrespective of the outcome, as long as I put forth a maximum performance. And so to me, like, again, like, win, lose, do I want to win? Yeah, man. Would I love that feeling? Sure. Would I really, like, in an ideal scenario, I go like a round and a half, 2 rounds with Justin, knock his ass out, but I'm bloody as hell to get there. Like, I don't want a fast finish. I want something that's going to be painful, because pain is the ultimate truth, and I want that moment of truth. I want that. I don't want it to be easy, because this experience hasn't been easy. So the final moment shouldn't be easy. If it happens, fuck it, I'll take it, bro. But believe me, but I promise you, like, I may get emotional, you know, in a win or a loss, probably in both, but I'm going to hold my head high no matter what.
So usually as a fighter who's depending on pay or depending on the success of winning, you don't really have...
I don't carry that burden.
Yeah, you don't carry that burden.
Yeah, because my job will be done as soon as, you know, yes, I'll donate a little bit less money if I don't win, but I will have raised a ton of awareness and a ton of money already. Mm-hmm. You know, so that little bit of difference between my show and my win, bonus, mm-hmm. It's not going to move the needle so much, you know? Like, I want to win for sure.
But then you know that the team here which everyone in the background could probably respectfully say right now that we're all proud of you. This is something you don't have to do. You're doing this out of your free will, but obviously spreading a positive message the entire time and trying to prove a point. You know, you are pushing yourself through something, again, that you don't need to do, and you're doing your thing. So when it comes to walking out to this fight, you've trained with some of the best. We're all extremely proud of you, and your message is getting across, and you're raising money for a foundation that helps so many more people. So far, I mean, obviously you have to make it to the fight. Hopefully, you know, knock on wood, nothing happens, but you're doing a job well done.
Yeah. I appreciate it, but I think you're wrong, bro. I do have to do this. Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, is my family depending on me to, you know, to win so that we can have a good Christmas? No. But the reality is, for me as a person, as a man, looking myself in the mirror, and again, understand that the hardest thing that any human being can do is to be honest with himself. Mm-hmm. I need to be able to look at myself in the mirror and say, yeah, man, you did this. And if I can answer that in the affirmative, we're good. We're good.
Well, kudos to you, man. I'm excited to see the fight. Sadly, I won't be there. I'll be busy doing my own thing, but I'm extremely proud of you.
Wait, you're not going?
I don't even like you, man. You know, I'm just here.
Hey, okay, so let's talk about this real quick, because I know we're getting ready to wrap this show up, but I cannot, and it's been like this heartfelt emotion, I can't let this fucking show go to an end and to conclusion without asking you why the fuck you have that hat on. Like, let's be honest, bro. Like, break it out for me. No, you're not getting out of this one, bro.
I just felt like this was like a hunter-looking hat, and I'm in a lovely room of death, so I thought it fit the room.
Yeah, it does.
But, it's purple, so it doesn't kind of, but whatever, you know?
Whatever. Well, I'm going to beat your ass later for not being at my fight. What do you mean you're not going to be at my fight? Market.
I get to be at the fight. I didn't know you were flying me in.
Yes, Shorty, I will fly you in.
I'm going to Dominican Republic. See you guys soon. This was the Twins Podcast.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you for tuning in and watching me break down and cry like a little girl.